So I think we get started. Thanks very much, guys, for everyone joining us. Today we have the poster session discussion, and we have Kartik, Sana and Miriam going to give their poster discussion around their work and their posters. So we'll start off with Miriam. So thanks, guys.
Well, thank you so much, Jerry. This is Miriam Nawaz, and I'm a first-year PhD student working on a digital health transformation project with the Marco. And today I'm presenting my poster. First of all, I will go with my motivation. What was the motivation behind this project? Because the basic motivation behind my project was data gathering, because digital health data is scattered all over the platform. So the basic object of my research will be data gathering from different resources, and whether data will be used in AI regime for the personal empowerment in health sector or for in term of well-being. So while I do the problem identification, so the many scattered data resources, difficulty of data extraction from different resources, and obviously data has its different aspects like privacy, ethics, and their own terms. So I have to resolve these data aspects also. So my research objectives are what will be the data and how data can be useful for machine learning algorithms, which is applied to the personal empowerment, and how I will extract or establish data from different resources. And further, the gathered data will be used in repository, and the repository will use in AI models. So in my research, I will follow the design research methodology, in which firstly, I'm working on the literature review and gap analysis in my first year, and after that, I will my objective definitions and objective solutions, then the design and development phase, demonstrations and evaluation, and everything. And the future work, this is just the description of my future work of my first year and further years. Like I am working on the literature review currently, and the problem identification, and mainly the research questions. And further, this is my whole first year plan, and here are some references. Thank you so much. If you have guys any question, please let me know.
Maybe we can go first with the presentation after the question at the end.
We can open up for questions then altogether. Yeah. It's just the second one there, yeah. And then that one.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kartik. I'm a first-year PhD student under the supervision of Professor Marcus Elfert and Wu Hao from IVI. My topic is based on modeling the value generated. In essence, my topic is based on modeling the data value. But to be more specific, like more detailed down, it's like modeling the value generated to stakeholders in data sharing in a value chain. So traditionally, like the value chain, the data is not being shared properly, and the stakeholders have this issue of trusting the data sharing. And one of the major issues there is the data silos being the biggest barriers in cross-functional analysis. So like trying to develop an artifact in which I can represent how data could be valuable, and in essence, how the value could contribute to the organization's business capabilities. So that comes with one of my objectives as well. And the research question that I'm like working on like ties up to that, how modeling can value the organizational business value of data sharing. Business value in the sense, reduction of cost, increase in the revenue, and possible increase in the efficiency of the business processes. So like in order to find that, I have like some sub-research question that will help me get to that research question, like trying to map the data flow in the value network and to model different value networks in the ecosystem, and how these contributes, how those value components contributes, how those value interacts with those components, and how those value components contribute to stakeholders. So, so in essence, like, so it, in general, the value components, the data sharing value components comes under the data governance part. And so like I will be, since like data is, as you can see from references, like data is more on the strategic part of the layer. So like I'm trying to map and model how data integrates and how data interacts with each layers and how it could be modeled, and how it can, how I can develop an artifact, probably a reference model or something that can be easily translated or understandable for the stakeholders involved and generate value. So like I will also be looking into design science research methodology. So I'm in the initial part of literature review, and the next subsequent stage will be practitioner interviews. And once I get to know the design requirements, and then like develop an artifact, and then the whole DSR process and evaluating concept evaluation. And yeah, so like these are the next research steps: defining the questions, bridging the gap, and possible way of approaching to develop the artifact. So thank you. I'll now pass to Sana.
Douglas had a question there.
Yeah.
Just, can I have that for a second? Just to make sure that you can see the screen up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Douglas.
Yeah, Karthik, actually, we couldn't see your poster.
Oh,
It was not shared.
Yeah, we can only see Marion's, like.
Yeah.
okay, so it says here that we're screen sharing, guys. Sorry about that. There might have been some glitch
Yeah, we
there.
can only see Marion's, the
Let me
previous
just
one.
stop again and start, just so we can maybe just pop it up for a second. And sorry.
Sure.
Not any questions, then we can take a quick look.
You can share the screen instead of sharing the.
That's your one there, yeah? We might just leave it there for a second, in case there's any questions. Can you see this share screen now, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, if we have any questions at the end, we
Yeah,
can come
sure.
back. Yeah,
I can show you the poster and then
exactly. It's just to, I don't know what happened there. Okay, so Sana, we'll move to you next. Can you see the screen now, folks?
I still seeing like Karthik's poster.
So you need to stop share and then share once again.
Yes, can you see it now? No?
I can only see Karthik's. I don't know about Doug. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Now it's gone.
Maybe share the screen.
That's that because you're
Yeah, so
the screen.
Oh, I took on sharing separate, sorry. Okay, can you see?
Yes, now we can see Sana's. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, now yes.
okay. Sana, I'll pass it over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sana Kiran, and I'm doing my PhD at the University of Maryland Institute under the supervision of Professor Marcus. My research topic is data quality and data trustworthiness in data governance, demonstrated in the context of smart cities. So this topic of data quality, data trustworthiness, and data governance is of great importance due to the increased adoption of data-driven decision-making in smart cities. So smart cities rely heavily on data to optimize services, to improve their infrastructures, and to enhance the life quality of their citizens. So the effectiveness of data-driven decision-making is dependent on the quality and the trustworthiness of the data use. So there is a need to investigate how data quality and data trustworthiness can be improved and how data governance can be used to support these efforts. So at the initial stage of my research, I tried to review a few examples from the real life and in literature. And I found one problem that can help me to understand how data quality and data trustworthiness are impacting the life of the citizens, which is smart safety public systems. So regarding smart safety public systems that collect data from the smart crowd sensing sensors, so several data quality challenges that are impacting trustworthiness and the effectiveness of data-driven decision-making includes duplicate data, which can lead to inaccurate analysis and conclusion and ineffective use of resources, then inconsistent data and the missing data that can increase the potential threat ratio and make it difficult to respond to the difficult emergency situations. And then the redundant data that can lead to the demand of increased storage and also can lead to the slow processing time. So there is a need to develop data management processes to resolve this issue. And for this purpose, I use design science research methodology. I use the science research methodology because it focuses on the creation, design, and development of artifacts to solve the real world problem. And I also choose design science because it is an iterative process and collaborative problem solving process. The iterative process helped me to refine and redesign my artifacts, and the collaborative work, problem solving helped me to work with the practitioners to ensure that my problem is relevant and useful for the real world setting. And then my future works involve conducting a systematic literature review to analyze existing data quality assessment frameworks from the data governance practices. I will also participate in the conference to meet new collaborators or authors to learn about the latest research and discover what's happening in their fields. And then I will develop my artifacts. And then I will also conduct few studies to evaluate my developed artifacts. So my outcome will be data governance models that can help improve data quality and trustworthiness on the data-driven decision-making that will automatically improve the life of the citizens and the urban smart environment. Thanks for listening.
Okay. I think we can open up the floor and anyone online to questions. Anyone has any? And then we can just pop back up the posters, guys. It's a screen is shared just for each poster if anyone has questions. Maybe we could show yours again, Kartik. Douglas might have had something there.
I can. So
Go ahead, Marco.
break the ice. Thanks the three of you for the presentation. And actually, I see there are some overlaps, of course, among your work. So I really would ask all the three of you if what are the things that you see in common between among your research, and what is the unique feature, the unique part of your that is differentiating from the others. So how can you help each other in the work of the PhD, and how can it's really unique to your, that is really differentiating from the others' work?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can. So from my understanding, so like each of us are coming under the same umbrella of governance, but like each like I think she comes under more like on the collection part, like trying to find the initial stage. Yeah. So she comes more into the quality and trustworthiness. That's like the next part. Like so value. I come from a value side. So value, as in the essence, like has an effect from her side, and quality as well. So like each are interconnected with each other, and like if in the essence each one collaborates with each other, and each has an interconnection with like different systems. Like so, does it answer the question? So like I can see the connection between the topics, and I can see how their topic has an effect on mine, and similar vice versa. So
I think the common element is digitalization of smart cities,
And the
healthcare, and same as the Karthik and the use of design science research methodology. So this is common thing.
the research methodology are also
like
common in our
apart
research.
apart from research methodology, like even if it's in the different stream or different
It's all about data.
yeah,
Right.
and how it's like connected with each other. Like it's kind of like you could see like a process, or you can see as an independent part. But yeah, but I do see it.
So I guess in relation to what she is doing, she is collecting the data. So one part of it is there are different formats of the data. There are different sources of the data. She's collecting the data. So you are now providing the quality, how to improve the quality of that data, because that bulk of data doesn't have the quality if everything is there.
Yeah.
So you take the meaning out of it.
Yeah.
And then it goes to you that
Value.
how to create the value. So if the quality and the value, so value, it's like some part of the information, if that is stored for quite a long period of time, so it start depreciating the value of the data. So your part is more towards that. So it's like connected like this way as well.
It could like come from her approach, or it can come from like top down, bottom up. Like, yeah.
There is Marcus.
Go ahead there, Marcus, you have a question?
Yeah, but like I don't want to interrupt that discussion, because I think that's a really important one. It was a really good question. What are the commonalities between the projects? And I think it's really important also to share the different projects, the kind of the direction where it is, and start the discussion. That's what we try to do with the coffee and talks. And then also thanks for the three to actually present today. I know it's early stage in the research, but just giving a little bit of insight in the direction and the topic what you actually have, and hopefully that stimulates a little bit more discussion within IVI around digital data, digital transformation, and the topics. But I have also a question to the three when they have them all in one room basically, and just presenting their research. So you all moved to Ireland, or know a little bit about Ireland in one case. So, but you all started the PhD process relatively recent, and you all came like from a degree, master degree, undergraduate degree, and you came to a PhD program, certainly with some expectations, some opinions, what research is. And my question is, do you have something which is quite different than you actually expected? Like what actually now research over these couple of months shows, or is it really kind of, yes, I expected this exactly, that maybe it's challenging and all this, or is there something particular which basically was surprising? Oh, that's a little bit different than I thought research is about.
Yeah, if I can go first, narrowing my string, like being too broad and getting down. So I thought it's much easier, so it's not. So yeah, so I think that's the one that's easier.
Yeah, and for me, I feel like I'm stuck in an iterative process. Every time I found something good, and after 1 or 2 days, I feel like work is already done, and then I need to search for another thing. So this was challenging for me.
For me, my health domain was very broad, because at very start I was working on data gathering, the whole data. I was considering the whole data. So by time I have precise my domain and shrink my domain, and now it's a little bit on track.
Yeah. And this is kind of also like that shows that research is challenging, particular PhD and focusing and that whole journey basically, and finding the right kind of that angle where you actually want to research on, but also on the end. And that just come from a Viva, which was successful for the PhD candidate. So it is possible, first of all, but also very rewarding on the end and in the defense in the Viva, basically to defend that work, what you're actually doing. So yeah, thanks again for sharing that actually in that early stage. So, but I think it's in any stage you should really have that discussion with everyone, and the coffee talks I think are a fantastic way to at least have a discussion about the topic.
Yeah, thank you, Marcus.
Oh, I also have a question.
Hey, go ahead, Douglas.
Yeah, actually, again, congratulations also for presenting. I really liked your topics, and maybe more from Mariam, but it can be for all of you guys regarding the focus. So, for example, Mariam, you mentioned the different data sources, and like this is definitely true. You can get health data from the web or from private databases in different formats and so on. I was just wondering if in your research you are focusing on more into the treating the data or integrating the data. What would be really like your because you can have different key actions when you are dealing with these different data silos. So for example, you can guide people on what's the most interesting data points, needed data points, or is it going in this direction, or which kind of questions on this direction you would be more interested in focusing on?
Yes. Right, actually I'm working on it. This is my really first poster, and my domain was really broad, and I just precise my domain, and data gathering is from firstly I was going to data gather from different open resources. I have to consider different parameters to consider different dimensions of health data. So now I have precised my domain. I will work on dimensions of health data like the physical health by considering the social and mental health. So this was my really first poster, and now I'm working on it. We will consider these facts also.
Thanks.
Yeah, Douglas was asking, where do you take the data from, and what do you do with this data?
I will take this data to the real people groups to empower their in daily life health.
I see. Yeah, and maybe for all of you guys, as you are working with data science, that engaging with industry business partners is very important. So how do you plan to do this? Do you have already some mapping of potential industry collaborators for your own research, or how is this going or embedded into your plan for next steps?
Yeah, so like the first is identifying the area, like the domain that we're going, right? So like I think we're with that part, and then I think it's in the subsequent part, like, and then identifying the next, like who will be the collaborator, like in general, it's kind of like broad right now. So I think that's like a very good next steps to tone down.
Yeah, and in my case, it's county council, so I'm not in touch with anyone, but yet it's planned according to my design science research methodology.
In my case, I will consider most probably the students groups for my data gathering.
I see. Yeah, you guys will be amazed when you see how your artifact can change after you collect feedback from your stakeholders. This is one of the really nice things about design science. Yeah, just wanted to comment on that. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Douglas.
Thank you for your reviews.
Might have time for one more. If there's one more question or comments. questions or comments. Well done, guys. And thanks for stepping in today and doing that, because that was really informative. And it's good, I think, to listen and to hear what everyone's doing. And I think that's what's good with the coffee talks, that we get to an insight into what everyone is doing. So well done. If we've no more comments, we can leave it there, folks, I think. We will continue our coffee talks into the coming weeks, and next week we'll hear from Susanna Sarka from Maynooth University. So please join us next week for our coffee talk, and thank you all very much for joining today.